Alright YouTube, so today I want to discuss the map of Fallout 76, kind of take a look at the different regions and all the confirmed locations. Now really quickly before we hop into it, we do have a fan-made map, pieced together through trailers and other things like that, with a bunch of, obviously, the confirmed locations, but it's also filled with a lot of possible locations based on the actual state of West Virginia, because some of the towns and cities from Fallout 76 obviously exist in the actual world, so people are piecing together these other locations that might be in the game, and that's why I haven't really talked about this map specifically in a video, because that's just hypothetical stuff. We don't even know if this stuff's going to be in the game. Now the article we're going to be looking at is from WindowsCentral.com. They stay pretty on top of the Fallout 76 information, so they're a pretty good site. Now we're going to kind of skip over the first part of the article because we've already talked about the size of the Fallout 76 map. It's supposed to be 4 times the size of Fallout 4's map. We still don't know exactly how true that statement is, and we don't know if it actually means actual map size or density exactly, or maybe a combination of both. But either way, we have a rough idea of how big the map is going to be. Referencing Fallout 76's Nuke's trailer, we already know every region name and its boundaries within the states. Cross-referenced against information from the Power Armor Edition collectible map and the Making of Fallout 76 documentary, we're able to get an idea of the region contents. This right here is the map they're talking about from the Nukes trailer. We can see all 6 different locations, or regions, I suppose. The Forest, Ash Heap, Savage Divide, Cranberry Bog, the Mire, and Toxic Valley. The Forest is the initial starting area of Fallout 76 and where Vault 76 is located. A majority of pre-release game footage takes place in the biome packed with trees, vibrant vegetation, and vast hills. Without heavy radiation damage, we can expect this area to feature low-level enemies and fewer mutations. Settlements appear to include the capital of Charleston, Morgantown, Summersville, Point Pleasant, and White Sulphur Springs. As I said, a lot of the earlier game footage we've seen has taken place in the forest. If you see a lot of trees, it's probably the forest biome. Now, I do believe we've seen 4 or 5 out of 6 regions, and maybe we've seen them all. We don't really know for sure, but I think showing a lot of the forest makes sense. That's the early game stuff. That way, it leaves us wanting to explore the rest of the map, because we've seen a lot of the forest already through gameplay trailers and things. I want to, once the beta comes out, actually explore these other locations we haven't really seen much of. Following an accident at chemical-filled factories, the Ash Heap is home to a hollowed mountain stripped down by mining companies. Coal mines, bucket wheel excavators, and first responders occupy this scarred slice of earth. The cities of Lewisburg, Beckley, Welch, and Bramwell are confirmed in this region, as well as Vault 63. As Vault 76 is one of the first to open, it's unclear how this vault will feature. We've actually seen quite a bit of the Ash Heap throughout the Nukes gameplay trailer. A lot of people, when they first seen this area, thought this was a snowy area, and that is a fair assumption, but it's actually some sort of chemical spill or whatever from whatever the accident that happened at the factories, and I think it's cool that it makes it look like a snowy region without it actually being snow. And as they mentioned, there's another vault in this location, which is very interesting, because this is a very different Fallout game. This is taking place super early in the timeline of Fallout. And before this game even existed, we knew about Vault 76 and a little bit of information about it. We know nothing about Vault 63, so I'm very intrigued to see what this is. Is this another, control vault? Is this another vault that's meant to open pretty early in the Fallout timeline? Or do we, break into this vault? Maybe there's some crazy-ass experiments going on. I don't know. And as they mentioned, this is the area with the big-ass bucket wheel excavator. I just want to see this thing in-game. I just want to climb on top of it. Maybe jump to my death. Sharply splitting West Virginia in two, the Savage Divide is a barren desert wasteland with varying altitude. The mountains in this region bisect the map vertically, creating a challenge for vault dwellers venturing between east and west. Now, I don't know if we've actually seen gameplay for the Savage Divide. There are some areas where you don't see a lot of grass and things like that, but is that really the desert, or by desert do they mean actual sandy location? I don't exactly know. And as they said, of course, in their description, there's a mountainous region going through the middle of the map, and I believe this is the Fallout 76 version of the Appalachian Mountains going right down the middle to divide the map. So hopefully it's not pointless mountains like Skyrim was. There's actually things to do. The Cranberry Bog, known as the Cranberry Glades in rural West Virginia, is a collection of 5 bogs found in the southeast of the state. The dark bogs contrast with vibrant burgundy flora with hints of mutated carnivorous plants that may be hostile to players. Now, I'm not entirely sure how much of the Cranberry Bog we have seen during some of the gameplay, but we have seen this image. It's from a scene during the No Club documentary. When they're talking about the Cranberry Bog, they showed this area when they talk about the carnivorous plants. Now, I have actually caught a very small amount of gameplay in the Cranberry Bog during the multiplayer trailer. It's from this scene right here. You can look at the plants in the background that match up with the image we just looked at. So this gives you kind of an idea of what the location is going to look like. As its name indicates, the Mire is a region of swampland up the eastern side of West Virginia packed with hidden secrets. Adaptations of Watoga and Harper's Ferry are confirmed in this region. Now, I don't know if we've seen actual gameplay for the mire yet, but to me, this location looks like it could potentially be that. It looks kind of like a swampy location. It's also raining at the same time, so that kind of makes it difficult to decipher. Also, this location right here from the actual Fallout 76 trailer looks like it could be some backwoods, swampy church or whatever this building is. Details on Fallout 76's northern Toxic Valley are scarce, with no substantial footage of this area so far. Expect heavy radiation, mutated creatures, high-stakes missions with a need for strong power armor. This is also the expected crash site of the downed space station. Now, I hadn't heard the discussion of the crashed space station being in the Toxic Valley. To me, this doesn't look like a Toxic Valley location. This doesn't look like a location that would be highly irradiated. But then again, this thing is fallen and crashed from space, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. Now, to me, this location looks like it could qualify as a Toxic Valley. It literally looks like it's in a valley. It looks like it's between two mountains. Obviously, the area looks like it's pretty destroyed and maybe even super irradiated. We see the Beast of Grafton here. I don't know. Could just be one particular location that's very destroyed, but I could see this being the Toxic Valley. And really quickly, I'm going to read over all the confirmed locations so far from their article for each region. So first up, we have the Forest, which is Charleston, which is a city, Point Pleasant, which is a city, Morgantown, Summersville, White Sulphur Springs, those are all cities. Flatwoods is a town, Vault 76, Vault Tech University, which is in Morgantown, Morgantown Train Yard, Morgantown Municipal Airport, Mama Dolce's Food Processing, which is in Morgantown, Charleston Capitol Building, Camden Park, AVR Medical Center within Charleston, the Greenbrier Hotel, which is in White Sulphur Springs, Summersville Lake, Summersville Dam, Summersville Mansion, Charleston Train Yard, Nuka-Cola Quantum Plant, AVR Medical Center in Charleston, Mothman Museum in Point Pleasant, Uncanny Caverns, New River Gorge Bridge maybe, Alpine River Cabins, Green Country Lodge, Gorge Junkyard, Lumber Mill, and Isolated Cabin. Next up, we have the Ash Heap, which is Beckley, Welch, Lewisburg, and Bramwell, which are all cities, Vault 63, Mount Blair, Lake Reynolds, Charleston Landfill, Charleston Fire Department, Mount Blair Train Yard, Burning Mine, Big Bend, the Rusty Pick, Joe's Spuckies, which is in Beckley, Relay Tower 3, and Relay Tower 5. Next up, we have the Savage Divide, which is just the top of the world ski resort, Green Bank, and 2 different nuclear missile silos. And for the mire, we have Watoga, which is a city, Harper's Ferry, which is a town, Valley Galleria, and another nuclear missile silo. For Cranberry Bog, they only have the nuclear missile silo, and for Toxic Valley, we have the crashed space station potentially, but other than that, nothing's confirmed. Now, this article has Watoga in the mire, whereas this fan-made map has Watoga down in the bottom right in the Cranberry Bog. I'm not entirely sure which one's right, but I thought I'd point that out to you guys. And that's a look at all the regions for Fallout 76 and all the confirmed locations. Again, that fan-made map has a lot of potential locations, and they're probably going to be right on a good portion of them, if not a lot of them. I just didn't really want to look over those potential locations because, for one, they're not confirmed, and there is a lot of them. It'll be a pretty long video, and it might be pointless because who knows how many of those will actually be in-game. So as always, guys, let me know your thoughts below. What do you think the Toxic Valley is going to be? What do you think it's going to look like? When I think of it, I picture the glowing sea, but do you think it's going to be what I showed you guys, or is it going to be something completely different? And as always, if you guys went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like